Welcome back everybody, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. I remembered something kind of important. There was a reason we were going to do the other quest first before coming down here. The one where we got called to court. It's because we get a soulbound item there and I really want it. So we're going to quickly race out of here, take care of that, and then we'll come back down here and do this stuff. I totally forgot about it. There was an actual reason I was going to do that quest first, and it is because we get our first soulbound scepter. It's actually a pretty decent one too. It's going to go to our wizard, who is going to use it. It causes confusion, I think, on hit. At least it does after it upgrades the first time. And then it also causes... maybe it's not confusion, maybe it's domination. I can't remember, it's one of those two. And I can't remember what it's called either. It's like the Scepter of Gwyn something. Gwyn something? I don't remember. We'll pick it up in like 3 seconds and then we will take a look at it. The other soulbound items are a little tougher to get in general. I mean, we probably could do some of them at this level if we were really careful. That being said, there's not a lot of soulbound items we're actually going to need for this particular group. This group is mostly going to be more about unique items as opposed to soulbound ones. Unfortunately, just the way that they're built. The exceptions obviously are going to be there's a soulbound dagger that becomes mythic quality eventually, and there is the Abaddon hammer, which also becomes mythic. Both of those are absolutely worth using. They're so incredibly good. The Abaddon's hammer especially does just tons of damage. So, actually the dagger does a lot of damage too. We might switch to melee rogue later in the game, depending on how survival is going at that point in time, based on if we have that dagger or not. The dagger is extraordinarily powerful. And, yeah, so let's go talk to the emissary of the Duke. I can't remember his name, or his official rank for that matter. I'm sure it's something like Archdiocese or something like that. That's a religious thing. I don't think it's Archdiocese. We demand to see the Duke. I'm sure he's busy. Who are you, by the way? Oh, you're a Fugis. Gotcha. So not important enough for us to actually warrant talking to. Refugees are only worth talking to if they have actual names. We are going... oh, I wanted to steal that, but apparently that would be frowned upon. There's also tons of justiciars around here. There's Marshal Forwin and Chancellor Warren. Thank you for coming, Ashar and Set. I've been trying to track you down for some time. This is Marshal Forwin, Earl Bademore's military advisor. He will serve as a witness for this proceeding. He gestures at the man next to him. Well met, Road Warden. Your reputation precedes you. I admit, you've created a bit of stir throughout the nobility with your reclamation of Cadnois. Most are still not sure what to think of you. Get to the point. The legitimacy of your claim to Cadnois is in question. Earl Bademar has issued a ruling on the matter. Cadnois was abandoned for over a century and have claimed to the land through strength of arms. My claim... or no, actually, no, that's not what I say. Cadnois is mine. Any who challenge my claim will face my wrath. Threats will not make your occupation of Cadnois legal, I'm afraid. Only the Earl can do that. All will be made clear once Lord Gathbin arrives. Do you have any questions for me while we wait? Tell me about the Earl. Earl Bademar comes from an esteemed line of lords that rose to prominence after the War of Defiance some 150 years ago. The Deerwood consists of 7 earldoms. The Bademars govern the northern earldom known as the Grasp. As to the current Bademar, he is as fine a man as I know. It is an honor to serve him. Tell me more about the Grasp. The Grasp is now the largest of the 7 earldoms after it consumed the pre-war earldom of Yenwood. It encompasses notable settlements such as New Hamar, Giron's Grasp, Gilded Vale, and of course Cadnois. Yenwood? When the Deerwood was merely a colony of Adir, it was divided into 9 earldoms. When the Adirans were defeated and ultimately driven out, 2 of the earldoms were absorbed and borders were adjusted. The Yenwood was one such earldom. Got some more questions? What do you know of Gathbin? Well, I've met him but once. It was ample time to determine the character of Lord Arladur Gathbin, or lack thereof. He is descended from a long Adiran line that predates the War of Defiance. His great-grandfather, Ranig Gathbin, was the Earl of Yenwood during the war, that is, until he was stripped of his lands and driven from the Deerwood. Do you know which way the Earl Bademar has ruled? I'm sorry, my lord, I do not. The Earl's decree is sealed. What was that about a road warden? The one who rules Cadnois on behalf of the Earl of Yenwood is traditionally known as the Road Warden. Your position might not be entirely official yet, but the title is an appropriate form of address. The Marshal nods and smiles. I got any more questions? Your timing is impeccable. Here comes Lord Gathman now. An opulently dressed man strides towards the Chancellor, his sandy hair trailing him like a banner caught in a light breeze, boot heels echoing throughout the hall. An elven woman with cropped hair dressed in dark glittering mail shadows his steps before taking position alongside of him. She watches you unabashedly, taking your measure. Let's move past this formality as quickly as possible. I've other matters to attend to. It's well known that Cadnois belongs to me by right. And where is this pretender, he who murdered the Redricks, my own sister and her husband, and now steals my land? Where is this low-born wretch? Warren clears his throat and glances at me. This man here, this is the Lord of Cadnois. I thought he was just another servant, perhaps a valet or porter. I'm going to raise my hand. Everyone who owns their own keep, raise a hand. Go on, don't be shy. Imbecile. I hope you've enjoyed your time squatting on my land. Provoke me further, and I'll hang you from the highest wall of Cadnois when our business is finished. Chancellor, read the Earl's decree. Warren breaks the seal on the scroll and unfurls it. Regarding the matter of the Gathbin claim on Cadnois, Earl Baidmar finds that the Gathbin claim was never relinquished. By law, Cadnois is the rightful property of the Gathbin family. I knew it. Gathbin smirks at you triumphantly. I'm not finished reading, my lord. Gathbin rolls his eyes and motions for the Chancellor to continue. However, the Earl recognizes that Ashar and Set's part in reclaiming Cadnois, a site that has stood abandoned, and even some would say, cursed for over a century. Before Cadnois is returned to the Gathbin family, the Earl has decreed that Lord Gathbin will provide compensation in the form of... Absolutely not. Gathbin folds his arms, a defiant scowl on his face. My lord, Warren raises his eyebrows. The amount is quite reasonable, and a requirement for your land to be returned to you. If you'll just allow me to finish, I'll not pay a single copper to this miscreant from my ancestral land. Do you think I'm blind to the Earl's motives, lackey? He thinks he can send a message with this insult. I have a message you can send, that son of a whore. Gathbin raises open hands. As the Chancellor shrinks from him, arms raised in defense. I'm going to punch him in the face. Gah! Gathman's nose crunches under your fist. He staggers back with a hand clutched over the injury, teary eyes wide with shock. The elven woman deftly draws a pistol from her thick leather belt, her eyes wide in anticipation. My lords, please, there's no need for violence. Lord Gathbin holds your gaze for several long heartbeats, his eyes burning with hatred. I'll be coming for what's mine, count on it. Come, Captain Emery, we're leaving. He sneers defiantly before storming down the hall. The captain lowers her pistol and gives a smirking shrug before following her employer. Goodbye, Lord Gathbin, you prick. Well, I can't say that Gathbin's reaction was entirely unexpected. Through no fault of your own, I'm afraid you've made a powerful enemy. He did seem a little upset, didn't he? I've heard he's always been vicious, even as a boy, and he can hold a grudge for a very long time. In any case, Cadnois now officially belongs to you, since Lord Gathbin has rejected the Earl's decree. He hands you a deep blue scepter, which looks to have been carved entirely out of sapphire. Here, this belonged to one of the old lords of Cadnois. By right, it's yours now. You've gained an item, a Gwyrd Hawenist Stains. Tell Gathbin if I catch him, or any of his people in my land, they'll be executed. An extreme measure to be sure, but I will pass the message along. It was a pleasure to finally meet you, my lord. Perhaps we'll speak again under more pleasant circumstances. Warren bows. Farewell, Ashar and Set. The Marshal nods at you and leaves. Thank you, sirs. Now we have the item we wanted. So we have our first soulbound item of the game. It's not a great scepter in the beginning, it's just accurate which is, it's not bad, don't get me wrong. And 20% raw damage is pretty super. It gets really powerful later on though. We're going to bind our soul to it. So we need to deal 200 raw damage to enemies with the scepter to unlock the next level. And you can consider, for those of you who don't know about the soulbound items are a lot like heirloom items for World of Warcraft, or what's another good example? What's another game where you can level up your weapons, where weapons have like experience or unlocks? You know, I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, they're a lot like heirlooms from World of Warcraft. That's probably the most common denominator that I can think of. So as you use them more, and as you fulfill the tasks required of you, they will get more powerful in turn. And that's where we're at. So it does pretty moderately good damage, so it's accurate. We got some high might. It should do its raw damage pretty fast, hopefully, and we'll level it up. But now we are heading back into the catacombs, to the Temple of Wodka.
Before venturing forth.
Yeah, it's in Copperlane. Got to make sure I go to the right place. So, once we do the Temple of Wodka, I have no idea what we're going to do. Maybe one of the bounties? I don't know. I'll ponder it a little. But the temple is first. It's a fairly, I won't say easy, it's definitely challenging, but of the quests we have currently, it's one of the easier ones. Also, it advances the storyline, which is kind of nice. Eventually, we're going to have to deal with Lord Yathbin. He's kind of a pretentious asshole. He kind of deserves to die. Horrifically, I might add. But we'll get to that in due time. And we go all the way down. Such a long, long way. You know what? We can just go fast. There's no enemies between us and there. We have at least one camping supply, so it's probably good. I would imagine we're going to be fine. It's not like we traveled particularly far. We could also leave and go to the tavern right outside if we need to. Alright, down we go. Into the depths of this dark, dingy place. Alright, so past these guys. Past these, we'll go back to exactly where we were before. And we're going to close this door. Nope, that's not it. They have double hinged doors in this place? That doesn't sound right to me. Alright, here we go. Memories and chance, blah blah blah. Don the hood and mask. And I will go into the chamber alone. Several shrouded figures are lined up across from a hooded woman. The figure at the head of the line approaches her, and the woman places her outstretched hand on the stranger's forehead. They stand in silent communion as you look on. A few minutes later, the stranger steps aside and resumes his place in the circle around the statue. The woman turns towards you. She does a double take at your ill-fitting hood. You are late, attendant. Even though your face is concealed, you sense her rage. You sense her rage in her dangerously low voice, and the sudden silence of the others in the chamber.
I've been waiting on your reports. Quickly now, state your name and purpose.
The woman beckons you closer with curled fingers. She rests her open hand on your forehead, and you feel the heat from her palm through the thick material of your hood. Her voice is so low and soft, you're not certain whether she's speaking aloud or in your head. I mutter indistinctly. She snatches her hand back. A piercing scream sounds from under her hood. Imposter! That's a lot of people. Run back towards the door. Alright. Now, we're going to... Oh, shit. We are not looking good for spells. I should have rested. Oh, well. We will make do with what we have. Which, by the way, is not that much. She's using her quarterstaff, right? Good. Okie dokie, so let's start opening fire on the shrouded woman first, and you just fire on those thugs for now. Oh, knockdown. That's bull. That's just bull. I was gonna use slightly harsher language, but
just say the word.
Decided against it. Oh, damn it, she's on the right place. Okay. Book slamming time, go. Hey, our towers are finished. I guess it just decided that that was an important time to let us know that little fact. Who are you going to shoot at? Shoot at somebody like the shrouded woman. And you, are you shooting at the shrouded woman? Good. Their healing is annoying me. Let's try to... No, never mind. Just fire. shrouded woman is near death, at least. She died. That's a good start. Oh, they're still healing themselves. Can you shoot that guy from here? Good. Okay, let's get another, oh, we're kind of running low on life a little bit.
Yes.
Let's get some will-o-wisps.
Proactive.
Okay. Now let's deal with this little problem here. Stop healing them. It's super annoying me.
Yeah?
Can you hit anything yet? I could pull you back, I guess. Hi. I'm afraid I can't have you doing your spells and stuff. How's your health looking? 118. We're still got lots. Can almost do my next one. Oops.
This fight is mine.
Not the smoothest fight in the world, but not bad all around. And that's it. We definitely need to rest now. Crumpled at your feet lies the body of a woman. She wears a dark robe that bears the insignia resembling a key. As you approach the woman's body, feelings of rage assault you. The dead woman's voice howls in your ears, and her lingering consciousness rends at yours. Her essence tingles through your bones and membranes. It fills the spaces between your ears and behind your eyes, clawing deeper into your core. You see a gathering of men and women wearing robes like hers, their faces hidden behind masks. One by one they approach her, whom they know as an acolyte, and she places her hand on each one of their foreheads, searching their thoughts. She tests them with ritualistic questions, and they answer their oath is sealed by the leaden key. She asks them of their tasks, and she gives them new ones, all without a word. Let's see the tasks. Her essence flares, fighting to boil your blood, burn your memory, and splinter your bones from within. Yet between its strikes you see flashes of something else, a tower, a prisoner, and a rune. You funnel all of your concentration into a single effort of will, a sharp point that pins the raging soul in place like an insect in a display case. With the thing under control, you're able to examine it, and the three thoughts swirl inside. Let's look at the tower. You see a palimpsest of a neighborhood. Run-down estates are cobbled around a cemetery of an ancient tower. Savage shapes prowl the streets, and in the tower, a man hunches over a strange mechanism. You can't see him clearly, but there's something unnatural about him. Somewhere nearby, you see a woman with a scar over her heart. You understand that she has something he needs. You also see a door at the base of the tower, seemingly impenetrable, slab of stone and copper. But then the acolyte reveals the invisible split between the perfectly matched halves, and you understand how the copper veins convert a command into action. You know how to open the door. Inquire about the prisoner. In your mind you see a building magnificent with trellises and tiles and located on a pristine boulevard. The wealthy and learned stroll in and out, trading knowledge and coin. Yet it also houses misery and madness. Somewhere within its rotten core sits a man, his hair matted, but his eyes alert. He watches and waits. A prisoner by choice. And the runes? An acolyte's vision takes you out of Defiance Bay and into a town in the wilderness with a watermill. A signpost on one path reads Deerford. Several figures huddle together, shrouded in cloaks and hoods. An image of ruins suddenly looms in your mind. Two skeletal effigies flank a cleft in the mountainside. Well then, that's some good information. What do we got? A bunch of stuff plus a lead... Wow, they really went They're really literal with the leaden key there. There's some fine brigandine, which is actually probably nice, but we're going to leave it here for now. And we also need to have ourselves a little rest because we are hurting pretty badly. 8 hours have passed. We're going to save here, and I think we're going to end the video here. Just going to be a quick one today, and then, well, not today, a quick one. I got to run and do an errand really quickly, and then I'll do another video right when I get back. So I will see you guys in the next video. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.